What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Speed Syndicate USA YouTube channel, where tonight we are going to be making some new safety chains for the old water trailer here, and we are new boot goofing. Step number one of this project here on the water trailer is to get the old chains removed. And let's do a little bit of science. Let's see what it's going to take to get them off. I'm going to try a bolt cutter real quick because that's a pretty small chain and the bolt cutter's just right there. I can grab it right quick. So let's try that. I don't know if you can see my breath. It's pretty cold in here. It's about, well, it was about 29 degrees in here when I first came in. I got the heat running. We're now up to about 31. So hopefully that keeps climbing. I guess first thing I'll show you is, let's address the issue here. This chain broke the last time I used the trailer. Now, as you can see here, the problem is that these are a little long, so they drag the ground a lot and just eventually wore through. So part of the thing that we're going to fix with the new chains is let's make them a little bit shorter. So let's see, will the old trusty Harbor Freight bolt cutters go through this chain? So it did cut it, but obviously we got to make two cuts so we can get a big enough chunk out to slip that link out. Alright, there's one. So here's the question. I really didn't expect that to work so easily. And I thought we were going to do some science, and see what it would take to get through the chains. That was pretty easy and kind of uneventful and boring. So let's try a new tool. This looks dangerous and fun. Let's try this. So here's a fun story. I grabbed that saw and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need to swap this blade out for a metal blade, to cut through the chains, and because I saw that it had some remnants of what looked like maybe drywall or pegboard, something like that I had cut through the last time I used it. It was a metal blade. Apparently that worked for whatever I was trying to do. So got that going for us. How is the end of this damn thing at? Ah! There it is. Well, come on. Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Get out of there. Childproof extension cord, I guess. Okay, so now let's see if this thing will cut a chain off. So we got a cut, just like the other side. We got to make another cut so we can actually get this out. But I will say that I think the bolt cutters were actually faster, but this is definitely less manual effort. We're just not going to tell anybody about that part. That's just between you and me. We won't tell anybody. But it does give me an excuse to get out a hammer. It's one of my favorite and probably most used tools. Ha ha! Got it! What you can see here by looking at this chain is that it doesn't have a lot of life left in it either. It's about to come undone. So, I'll probably throw this up on the shelf somewhere and we'll cut the bad links out of it. And, you know, you never know when you're going to need a little short piece of chain for some kind of project. So, yeah. Now, let's open up the new stuff. I used to work at Amazon. If you know, you know. So, here's our new chain. Ooh, shiny. As you can see, it's pretty well the same thing as what was on there before. But you might be wondering, how do I connect it to those little brackets on the trailer? Let me show you. So all you got to do with these, you just open it up, slip the chain through there, and now we'll put this through here, like so. Tighten it up, and voila, we're connected. Okay, so now let's take our old chain, lay it up next to this one, and get an idea of how long it needs to be. So I already told you that this old chain was too long. So I want to shorten it up a little bit, but I don't want to take too much off of it because we do still want it to be of adequate length. So maybe let's just take a couple links out for now. We can always shorten it up more later. So that said, I think I'm going to cut it right about here. So, interestingly enough, those bolt cutters will not cut this new chain. So it's definitely stronger, which is a good thing. Let's try the Sawzall again. Actually, no. This is a good opportunity to use a different tool. Let's see what we can find. You know, the air compressor is going to take a few minutes to build up pressure, so that gives us a great opportunity to have a beer. So, I don't know if you can see that or not, but right there is the mark that the bolt cutters made, and the jaws were fully clamped, as tight as I could get them to clamp. Couldn't move the handles any further. So, this chain must be a little bit stronger than that old stuff, which is good. So, let's go ahead and get this cut. Two chains. Okay, so now our chain is cut to the appropriate length. We've got it slipped over our link here. Slip our link onto the trailer. Tighten it up, and we're attached. But what do we do with this end? Because that's not going to hook onto the truck very well now, is it? So you got a couple options at that point. You could use another one of these at the other end, but it's kind of cumbersome because you got to, you know, unscrew it every time, and sometimes the threads get a little sticky because they stay out in the weather, blah, 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 blah. This is what you need. Now, let me show you how these work. Now, for those of you who might be asking a silly question like, how well does the heat work out here? The answer to that, pretty damn. Whew! So the first thing we got to do here is pinch the little pin shut so that we can pull it out. See? Pull this out. Take your new length of chain, you stick it in there. You put the pin back through. Stick this back through. And then you want to fold it back over so it can't come out. Now, there is some debate on what is the right way to fold these little pins over. I'm not saying this is the right way, but I'm saying this is how I do it, and I've never had a problem. But however you do it, just make sure you fold them tight down here close to where they come through. Because if you were to leave a straight piece there and then fold it, well then that pin's got room to work itself back and forth, and it'll eventually fatigue it and break it. So just make sure you keep it nice and tight however you decide to fold it over. Now I know there's somebody watching this right now going, hey dumbass, why didn't you just buy pre-made safety chain kit? Well, because they didn't have one that I thought would be perfect for what I need here. So I was going to have to modify it anyway. And if I'm going to have to modify it anyway, why not just buy the pieces and build it the way I want it to start with? Alright guys, so what you can see that we have here now is one completed safety chain attached to the water trailer. I'm going to go hook the other side up, and then this project is pretty much done. Alright guys, there you have it. New safety chains on the trailer. Now I went a little bit overkill with what I bought. I bought a longer length of chain than what was required here because I just wanted to have a little bit extra chain to throw in the shop here for use on, you know, engine cranes or whatever. It never hurts to have some chain laying around. I bought the nice hooks for the ends of it, you know, to attach to the truck end. So, you know, I probably spent, like, I'm going to say maybe $35 to $40 on all the stuff that I bought. But if you just bought the bare essentials, you could complete this whole project on your trailer for probably $25-30, you know, depending on how heavy of a chain you need or how long or, you know, what have you. But it's a relatively cheap, easy, and quick project, you know. That's only going to take you a few minutes to do. You spend a few bucks and you got some nice new chains on your trailer. So that's going to do it for tonight, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, give me a like, subscribe, comment. Go check out the website for some merch, speedsyndicateusa.com. And remember, you got the Lord on your side. Say a quick prayer before you lay your head down tonight. I promise it'll do you a lot of good. And speaking of, probably say a prayer for my old lady. Nothing's wrong with her, but she's got to deal with me.